I feel like I kind of have to talk about this dude, and it's not a have to that I'm like forced to. It's a have to that like I'll be mad at myself if I don't, and that's Damian Lillard. I think when these type of performances happen for somebody, we tend to look at their overall like legacy in their career, especially for a guy at this age. And we're gonna get to that, but first things first, let's just talk about the fact that this man scored 70 points, 71 points in an NBA game. And I know people like to diminish it, but I feel like even though we live in this league or in this current era, we have a league that's very high pace. There's more spacing, inflated numbers, all that stuff. We still can't diminish how great this is. This man scored 71 points while shooting 56% from the field. 56% from the field is insane for 70 points. He scored 70 in the fewest amount of minutes that anyone's ever done it in. He scored 70 in 39 minutes. That's kind of insane. As a guy who probably normally plays 40-some minutes a game, I probably should have looked that up, but I'm just going to guess that a guy like Dame on that team that's trying to make it to the playoffs, he probably plays 40 minutes, 40-plus minutes, and he did it in less than. It's the most points in a non-overtime game since Kobe's 81. That's crazy. Donovan Mitchell, who scored 70 this year, needed overtime. Not taking away anything from Donovan Mitchell, but yeah, he did it. He didn't do it in overtime. He did it in regulation in less than 40 minutes, and he also hit 13 threes. One away from breaking Klay Thompson's record. I personally feel like the one thing that I liked watching this performance is it didn't feel forced. It felt like early he just got hot and he ran with it. You know, he was taking his normal shots. They were going in like crazy. He was getting to his spots. They were going in. So naturally, he's like, okay, I'm going to test this. And I'm going to just get farther, get crazier. I'm going to have that trigger finger right on the trigger. I'm pulling this every time I get the ball. And what made me mad is that Houston finally wanted to play defense late in the game. Like, you didn't want to do it early in the game. You was going under screens. Of course he's going to kill you. Y'all deserve that on your head. That's a whole different discussion about Houston. But this should also just not surprise you. He's been on a tear this year. He's had this 71 game. He had another 60-point game where he shot 72% from the field. He has a 50, and he has a bunch of 40s under his name. Another 40-point performance where he had 10 assists. He had 42, 10, and 8 on 50% from the field. We shouldn't be surprised that Dame was able to do this year when he's been this hot. And I don't know. I think it's time. I think when someone does something like this, you do have to give them their flowers because this is not easy to do. If 71 points was easy, everybody would be doing it. But only 2 people have done it this year. I know that's even a lot for just 1 year, but still. Just give this man his praise for that. Now, on his legacy, which I think is a very interesting one, because, and especially I think for the standpoint is he's going to be a guy that stays in Portland. He is not going to leave Portland. I don't see it happening. If it was going to happen, it would have probably already happened. At this point, it makes no sense. He is a Portland guy forever. You see a lot of these guys who stay at one organization. They have that ring. The Tim Duncans, the Steph Currys, your Udonis Haslams. They've won one or more than one, and he hasn't. And it's funny how, I feel like even though he hasn't done that, it's not really held against him. It's not something that we look at and say every year it's like, dang, got to do it this year. He got to do it. And mainly it's because he doesn't have the talent around him. And I think we've all just acknowledged that, hey, he's not going to win in Portland. Portland's never going to give him a competent team. The closest he got was a year where they got to the conference finals and they went against a Kevin Durant-less Warriors, and people still didn't think they were going to win. Everybody but Charles Barkley. But it's also kind of crazy. It's just, I think, that he's a top 75 player all time. He was named on that list. And he is one of the only players, one of the few players on that list that have never even been to the finals. He's never touched it. I think it's like him, Steve Nash, and Dominique are the only ones, to my knowledge, off the top of my head. That's all I can think about, that have never even sniffed the finals. And he's also probably one of the few that's only been to the conference finals once. I'm pretty sure. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but that was 2019, his first time and only time getting there. But he's still renowned as one of the best players to ever play this game. And when I look at his resume, as I am right now. 7-time All-Star, 1-time first team All-NBA, 4-time second team, and 1-time third team. That first team is really impressive given that his prime overlaps with consensus top 2 point guard all time is Stephen Curry. And he still has at least one first team All-NBA, which is very crazy. And just in general, that's hard to get. You're one of the best 5 players in this league. Congratulations. That's hard to do. But now that resume is stacked. And he also has a Rookie of the Year. Imagine if he has a ring. If he has a ring, what do you do with him on your all-time list? Like, on the point guard list? Is he above a Steve Nash? Is he above a Chris Paul that doesn't have one? Is he even above a Jason Kidd? Just questions. Questions you have to ask because a ring means that much to people. Now, I don't think a ring matters in his case. It doesn't matter. His spot is solidified all time. He's solidified as one of the greats. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But my question will always be, imagine if he got one in Portland. What would that have done for his legacy? Where will we want to put him all time? What will we do with him? Given that his legacy is already stacked and he's going to have another All-NBA team. He's going to have another All-Star appearance next year. And he's definitely going to be on the next all-time best players list. In my opinion, just what do we do with him? What do we do with him? He is one of the greatest players to never get to a finals. He's one of the greatest scorers at his size. His legacy is weird to me, you know? He's going to be an AI type, even though I don't think he's as good as AI. His legacy is going to be like AI. He's going to be the AI for this generation. And where he's never got to the finals, but no one really faults him for that because we saw what you were working with. I mean, AI did get to the finals, but he played that Kobe team, and he got a game. And I always think is, let's say Dame did get to the finals. He could probably get you a game. It's Dame. He gonna go off once, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think just his legacy is very interesting to me. As a guy who is going to be an all-time great in Portland. He's their all-time scoring leader. He is the greatest player to ever play for the Portland Trailblazers. There's no debate. And he's going to be a lifer. His legacy is just interesting to me. Because if you look at all the other lifers around the league or around the history of the league, they've got that ring. And he hasn't. And he's still considered an all-time great, which he should be. But it's just interesting. I don't know. I don't know if any of this made sense. If it did, I appreciate it. I just really want to get this video out because, it's Dame. I feel like I should talk about him. And also, he's one of my favorite players. He's not my favorite, but he is one of my favorite players to watch. Love his game, love his attitude, all that stuff. So this is not me shitting on him. It's just me asking questions. Just looking at his legacy and his career and just wondering, this is interesting. Interesting to look at. So thank you for watching. This was a real impromptu video. I literally just came up with the idea, turned my mic on and said, hey, fuck it. We're going to record and we're going to see what comes out. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, comment your thoughts and your opinions, all that stuff. And I appreciate y'all. So peace.